On the screen, as you can see, this is my Xbox One controller that I use from Battle Beaver that I recently purchased over the like 4 to 5 years that I've been playing. It comes with mouse place buttons, mouse D-pad, mouse click triggers, and also with 2 back buttons in the back. Some people might say, I might be hacking or using a sim, using a Cronus, just because I have a cable plugged into it. The only reason I have a cable plugged into the controller is to get less lag input that the controller has if you don't have it connected directly to the console, which I'm pretty sure people are not aware. So if you have a cable connected to the controller, it gives you less lag input, which it actually benefits you for having a faster reaction time than other players that don't have their Xbox controller connected, which the response time is a lot longer. So that's the only reason I have it, but other people might say otherwise, but yeah, just because people have a cable connected to the controller does not mean they're cheating. I use an expensive controller, no reason for me to do it. But yeah, I mean, this controller is similar to the Scuff, but if you guys can don't have the money to actually buy one of these controllers, like the Battle Beaver or Scuff, there's actually other controller that's similar to it. It's called the Game Seer. So it has same things that these especially controllers come with, but it's a lot cheaper. So if you actually wanted to get a controller with paddles in the back or buttons in the back, I highly recommend you get a Game Seer if you don't have one already. So yeah, let's get into the settings. These are my stats from the game that I've been playing for almost 10 years. As you can see, I got a lot of kills on the bar, a lot of kills on the tank. My main top class is the support, which I really do love playing support. My high secondary is a revolver. So if we get to the controls tab, I play with a vibration. You might play with vibration. That is really up to you how you want to play. I play at 100 sensitivity. Others might play 50, 30. Like I said, all the best settings in the game will always be what you feel comfortable with. So I feel comfortable with that 100. So like the higher the sensitivity, the less accurate you'll be. And then from sensitivity from 50 and below, you'll be more accurate. You're more accurate with the weapons. For vehicle, I play at 100 sensitivity. For soldier zoom, that's actually something I might recommend you to play with or mess around with. I have mine at 50. So I'm actually like zoomed into like with weapons. My aim as I'm zoomed in was a lot slower, which makes it a lot easier for me to track enemies compared to having it 100, which your reaction, like going left and right to the screen or up and down, it's a lot more quicker, which is Battlefield default. But me, I came from COD, and me having it at 50 actually gives me that type of COD feeling when you zoom in on the weapon, so you actually be able to hit more of your shots. So I mean, if you're using my settings, I would technically tell you to have this at 50, leave it at 50. The sensitivity doesn't matter what you use, just change the sensitivity or the one that you have right now, or you can turn it up to 100 from what I'm using. It doesn't really matter, it would still feel the same. As you can see from from my recent videos of me using any weapon, you'll hit all your shots 100%. For the control scheme, I play on default since I have 2 paddles in the back. The right paddle is the slide, crouch, and then the left paddle with the left button is to jump. So if you have no paddles in the back, if you don't have any buttons to actually help, the best option you can go with is alternate. It's always best to keep your hands on the controller, never to take your right thumb off the analog stick. It's just like in the middle of a gunfight, you take your your thumb off the right analog stick to like crouch. You'll most likely end up dying. So from what I figured, if I'm using like a basic controller, just change it to alternate. You don't move your thumb, you could crouch spam with it and also crouch. It's all about having your thumbs on the controller, never to take them off. So yeah, I might have custom settings, but those really don't matter. We're all here for the infantry. As you can see on my advanced stick aim acceleration, I have all the way to 0. And as we get the controller like dead zones, As I always tell people, play on the lowest dead zones. It's faster reaction time for your analog stick. The lower you have them, the faster you move the analog stick left and right, and you have a faster reaction time. The higher you have, it's just like more input you put on the controller to move the left analog stick for it to react. So these are the ones I use. As I said, use low dead zones. These work for me with it's just standard controller or the controller I'm using right now, which is the Battle Beaver. So the only reason I've used the 1315 is to have no stick drift. I personally play with stick drift. Others mine I feel comfortable with, but this having it at 1315 to 100 should help you have no stick drift. That's why my weapons don't move that much. But yeah, you can mess around with the max input treasure too. You have to have more or less input. I personally tell you to leave it at 100. For my triggers, I have them at 5%. The lower you have them, the faster you can aim and shoot at the same time. A lot more quicker than having it at a high. So definitely recommend having it at about 5%. My zooms, I really don't mess around with them. I leave them out at 100 default. But what I do recommend you have it on is the uniform soldier aiming. Have it on 133. This is having it on is the same as ADSing and also having the hip fire the same. Having it off, it'll feel a lot different. So I definitely recommend you have it on. It works for all weapons. So the zoom will stay the same as if you're hip firing. These are my gameplay settings. For my crosshair, I have it at yellow. Other people may have different colors, but it's all whatever you feel comfortable with. Yeah, I have my head color at yellow, my headshot color at purple, and kill color at red. It's my mini map. So for one thing I've seen from players, they always have the camera shake all the way max, which I highly recommend you shouldn't do. Always have it at the lowest, just so your weapons don't shake that much. Auto leaning, have it on. Auto peek, have it on. The peeking actually sometimes comes in handy when you're around corners. You don't actually expose like your character, so like out in the open, so you don't get shot at and get killed quicker. So for planes, make sure you have this off. Chase camera roll. If you're flying, have it off, just so the plane just stays in the middle. You could turn it left and right, so it's actually a lot better for dogfighting, a lot better for flying. If you have it on, the plane will tilt, go left or right the way the analog stick goes. So that means you're tilting your head, which highly, it's less efficient in dogfighting. But if you feel comfortable that way, just leave it the way it is. But for me, I highly recommend to have it off. Also, I play with no aim assist. Been playing like that for years. If you're a new player, have it on. If you become more of an experienced player over time, make sure you turn it off. Like I said, aim assist is optional. It has its ups and downs. Aim slowdown, have that on at all times. Don't have it off. Like I said, option as well. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Another thing, there's a low ping system smoothing that's in the game. I don't know if anybody knows about it, but if you play on low ping, it will actually help you benefit on players that have high ping. So it will actually help you actually hit the shots a lot better. And if you're on high ping, it will also help you kill players that are on low ping. So it's like opposite from each other, but I have it on. I feel comfortable with it. Since I have low ping, helps me kill people on high ping. But if you have high ping, make sure you turn it on. Helps you kill people with low ping. This is my audio settings. Video, I have my brightness at 80%. Field of view, I play on max FOV. A lot of people play on 80, but what I would tell people, I highly recommend you play on 80, between 80 and 90. But if you want to max it out, it also helps with your weapons having less recoil, but this is optional as well. Might want to mess around with it. For vehicles, I definitely recommend having it at highest FOV. Just for in tanks, you know, you can see you're more aware of your surroundings. Same thing for the FOV on the ground, you're more aware of your surroundings. Enemies will be a lot further out, or you'll be more aware of where you're going, and your reaction time will be a lot faster. ADS field of view, have it on if you're actually using SMG, medic, bar, like support. Only have it off if you're sniping. It will actually benefit you a lot because the screen is more zoomed in, so it's a lot better for sniping. But if you're not sniping, make sure you have it on, because if you have it off, your weapons will actually move all over the place on your screen. But if you have it on, there's just, you know, it's just like the plane. It'll just sit, it'll just be in the middle. It won't move at all. But you know, if you're comfortable with it off, you're comfortable with it off, but that's optional as well. Motion blur, have it off. You don't need it. Weapon DOV, have it off. So a lot of people say I'm colorblind, which I'm not colorblind. I just have custom colors on. So if you have the colorblind off, all you gotta do is go all the way to the end where it says customize colors however you feel. I personally have the enemy as green. They just stand out more when you spawn them. In the game, there's a spawning feature that if you just spam RB, also that whatever button it is on PlayStation, just the top trigger, if you spam it, enemies will light up, you know, they'll get spotted, which, you know, the default color is red, so you'll spot them in red. But for me, it makes the game much easier to actually see them spotted, which makes it a lot better for you to track, and also a lot better for sniping, which, you know, the head will pop out, and also spotting the enemy, it will also tell you what class they're playing, which comes in handy, so you actually know how to play, or in a gun situation, like how to actually move or position yourself depending on if you're sniping, if they're sniping, or medic or support, however they're playing. Same thing with the assault, so that comes in handy. Make sure you use the spawn system that's in the game. It's really broken. It's been like that forever. It never changed it. So if you start doing that, it will also help a lot, your team a lot. I have these options off. No need for them. Oh yeah. So those are my Battlefield 1 settings. I hope they help you. They give you zero recoil, no recoil at all on any weapon. But for some weapons, what I highly recommend for you to do, that you might see, you might have to use the tuning system, or like like weapons where you tune them by, like, I mean, like the center, and then they got the left and then the right. Those you might have to mess around with, because, you know, all controllers are different, and you might not be using the controller I'm using, so you might have to like tune the weapons recoil direction to the left or the right or the middle. So you might have to mess around with that. Just test all three, see which one where the gun does not move at all, and then just have that, you know, change it to that one, and that should actually help you. But yeah, these are my settings. I hope it helps you guys out. I've been using these settings for almost 10 years and they work for me. But like I said, it all comes down whatever you feel comfortable with in the game. Just because I use these settings might not work for you, you know, doesn't really have much effect in the game. But like I said, you just gotta mess around with it. I feel like these are the perfect settings for the game. All you gotta do is just mess around with the sensitivity, lower or go higher. That's up to you. but it always comes down to what you feel comfortable with. Those will always be the best settings in the game, whatever you feel comfortable with. But yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you guys like, sub, and share the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.